Today we'll again continue with our topic fundamental processes, and under this topic we'll continue with our subtopic, that is sugar. And the sugar in case of DNA and RNA is of two types. The sugar of DNA is known as deoxyribose sugar, and the sugar of RNA is known as ribose sugar. For to study the sugar of these two in detail, we'll have to look into these topics, that is formation of DNA from RNA, how it was done. Then we'll see the structure of sugars. Then we'll see how this sugar forms a bond with nitrogenous bases, and we saw that these nitrogenous the sugar, and we saw that the sugar and nitrogenous bases are collectively known as nucleosides. The nitrogenous bases, as I told you, are of two types, that is purine and pyrimidine. Purine have a 9-ring structure and pyrimidine has 6-ring structures, and the sugar form a bond with the N9 of the purine, and with pyrimidine it forms a bond with the N1 of the pyrimidine. Always it is happening like this only. Then next is why DNA is genetic material in most of the living organisms rather than RNA. We have to see this, and we have to see that when these bonds are formed between sugar and nitrogenous bases, what type of linkage and cleavage is seen there. Then we have significance of autocleavage. What is autocleavage we'll see, and then we'll see what is the significance of autocleavage. So let us start first to see the the structure of sugar. We have to see, we must know how the DNA is formed from RNA. Okay, so as I told you earlier, during the origin of life, the atmosphere was reducing. And because of this reducing atmosphere, as in case of ribose sugar, we see that they have 5-carbon ring, which I told you is known as furan ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th carbon. And what happens that if we see the structure of these sugars, especially in case of RNA, if we are talking about, the structure is like, at the main thing happens at the carbon number 2. This carbon number 2 in case of RNA has both H and OH group. But what happened at the time of origin of life, this carbon number 2 of RNA lost O2, oxygen, and because of which a new type of sugar was developed, which was not having oxygen at carbon number 2. And that is why this sugar is known as deoxyribose sugar. because of this, and this type of sugar is found in the case of DNA. This is the type of, this is the case of deoxyribose sugar, which was developed during the origin of life from ribose sugar because of reducing atmosphere. And the it was this sugar, from this sugar was made with the help of retrovirus, and the process is known as reverse transcription. Why reverse transcription? Because generally what happens, DNA forms RNA and RNA forms protein, and when this happens, the process where RNA is formed from protein, from DNA, is known as transcription. But we see here the case is reversed. The RNA is forming DNA. That is why it is known as reverse transcription, and the theory is known as demonism. And the enzymes which is helping in forming this DNA from the RNA is known as RNA dependent DNA polymerase. Now we'll see about now I'll see in detail the structure of these sugars. The sugar of the RNA is known as ribose sugar, and it is the formula for this sugar is C5H10O5, and deoxyribose one is C5H10O4, obviously, as O2 is lost while formation of this. And the ribose sugar was discovered by Fischer in 1891, while the deoxyribose sugar was later developed later by Phoebus in 1929. Now, how the bond is formed in between the and you know, before moving towards the bond, we should see how the sugars are formed. The sugars are formed mainly during, we all know this one, during the from the PPP or HMP. What is this PPP and HMP? That is, PPP is pentose phosphate pathway, and the HMP is hexose mono, M for mono, phosphate pathway. Now I have told you that the sugar have 5C ring, which is known as furan ring, where oxygen is attached, as we have seen before this. If we have to describe the structure, I have shown you the structure. We can say that the oxygen is attached with the C4 of this carbon ring, and the fifth carbon is outside of the ring. See, this O and this one, like other carbons, it will also have CH, like these carbons, CH2O. So CH2O is here for the carbon number 5, and for this one, one oxygen is here, one H is here, and one H is here. So like this they are arranged. Now there are some bonds which are formed between the sugar and nitrogenous bases to form a complete structure of the DNA or RNA. As we were saying, like in the previous class, that there was a term I told you earlier, that was nucleotide. So DNA has different type of nucleotide and RNA has different types of, and these DNA nucleotide or RNA nucleotide are having three things with them, that is phosphate, then sugar, and then nucleic acids, nitrogenous bases. So these nucleotide have phosphate, sugar and nitrogenous bases. So what happened that these phosphates, as I told you, are found outside. Like suppose this is DNA, and I told you DNA is slightly negatively charged on outside because of the presence of these phosphate groups, because they have oxygen which is negatively charged. Now what happened other than this is we have two more things left, that is sugar and nitrogenous bases. So these sugar and nitrogenous bases are joined together. How they are joined? Now we'll see that I told you that nitrogenous bases are of two types, purine and pyrimidine. Purine is having 9-membered ring and pyrimidine is 6-membered ring structure. And now how they are joined, like suppose this is one sugar, as I told you the structure of sugar earlier, that they have 5 carbon ring. Now what happens, that carbon number 1 of the sugar, the nitrogenous bases get attached. If the nitrogenous base is purine, then their N9 will get attached with the carbon number 1 of the sugar. If the nitrogenous base is pyrimidine, then their N1 will get attached with the carbon number 1. Now what happens during this attachment? If there are two things, if during this attachment when the covalent the sugar and this nitrogenous the sugar and nitrogenous base is getting attached, they are forming a covalent bond. Okay, so what happens, covalent bond is formed by removal of this water, because the C has, the carbon 1 has OH towards the upper side, and this nitrogenous bases, suppose purine is getting attached with this, so it will have H, it's at H and its OH will get come together and they'll come out, they will as a water. So the water will be removed, and because of this the direct C will get attached with the N9 of the purine, suppose. So they will make a bond, and that bond is covalent bond, which is formed between the carbon or we can say the sugar molecule and this nitrogenous base. So this bond which is formed between C and N, it is known as glycosidic linkage, which is formed due to removal of H2O. Now what happens sometime, again this C and N bond which is formed here, C and N bond is formed after removal of H2, and this bond is known as glycosidic linkage. We can say, suppose sometimes comes for as a definition, what is glycosidic linkage? This is a bond which is formed between a sugar molecule and or carbohydrate or and other groups, and due to removal of water. Now what happens, sometime this bond between N and C will break, and the splitting of this compound will happen when this H2O will again be added in this compound. Okay, so because of addition of H2O, the compound will split up, and again जो hydroxyl group था OH will combine with the C, and the H will combine with the nitrogenous base in case of in this particular case, and this breakage is known as hydrolytic cleavage. Why hydrolytic cleavage? Because this bond which was formed earlier has broken because of addition of water. So now one thing's come. I have shown here, like if suppose the water is removed, so the bond is formed here, and this is known as glycosidic linkage. The bond between N and C. Now again the water will come in, the H group will again join with the N9 or N1 of the pyrimid, purine and pyrimidine respectively, and OH will again join to C because of addition of water. So this cleavage, which is cleaving the bond between C and N, is known as hydrolytic cleavage. So I'll write here, the glycosidic linkage is a linkage between C and N due to removal of H2O, and the bond they are forming is covalent bond, which is formed between a sugar molecule, or suppose carbohydrate, we can say any carbohydrate, plus with them other groups, like here we are saying nitrogenous base, purine or pyrimidine. Now hydrolytic cleavage, that again this bond will break up, or we can say split, they'll split. So we can say that splitting of a compound by addition of water. Where OH, that is hydroxyl group, will incorporate towards one side, that is towards C, or one fragment we can say, and the H plus in other. So this is what about we have seen about the structure of sugar and how they are forming a bond between with nitrogenous bases. Now the question is, I told you earlier that we'll see why DNA is genetic material in most of the cases, or in most of the living organisms, rather than RNA. So what happens, why? So we'll see why, what is the feature of DNA, or what is the deficiency we can say, which is found in case of RNA, which makes it less stable. So what happens that when we see the structure of RNA, as I told you, especially in the case of RNA sugar, ribose sugar, so we saw that there was they were having oxygen, which is not found in the case of DNA. So something happens around this only, which is making RNA less stable than DNA. So this is the structure of RNA sugar, that is ribose sugar. What happens is the on the rotation, or as the rotation take place, the OH group of C2, it comes out and it joins with the oxygen of P at C3. See here, like I have shown you here, like OH have come out and it joined with the oxygen of P. The P or the phosphate groups remains attached with the carbon number 3. And this phosphate we know have oxygen with it. So, and OH group of C3 is also there. So they are connected together with the help of a bond. So, but when this OH of C2 comes out on rotation, it joins the P. Okay, and this now OH has come here. So what happens? This OH forms a bond with the OH of C3 and they remove water from them. H2O comes out. So it becomes finally, here we'll see like on C3, finally will make a bond with phosphate like this. Only O will be left. Okay, this is C3. So like this the bond was formed, and this cleavage which is happening by itself in RNA, the cleavage, how it is happening on rotation, when OH comes out, it joins with P, and from here the bond is broken from here and it attaches here, and then here from here the water is removed out and it is making a structure like this. So it is making RNA less stable, means itself it is showing the cleavage on rotation, and then its structure gets not, it is not stable as it should be. So due to hence, when there was a need to evolve a stable genetic material, there was the formation of DNA, which happened at that time at the origin of life, because RNA was not stable. It was always on rotation. The OH was coming out and it was breaking and attaching with the phosphate and then making a bond with the OH of C3. So this is the only reason why living system having genetic most of the living organisms having DNA as genetic material rather than RNA. So but why this autocleavage is happening in the case of RNA? There will be some significance of this cleavage, and that is, first of all, we know that there are 3 types of RNAs. We all of us know, that is rRNA, mRNA, ribosomal, then messenger, then there is tRNA, transfer RNAs. Okay, so out of this messenger RNA helps in sending messages for to the transfer RNA and to the for the formation of protein. So what happens, as it helps in sending messages, it is very very important. But as we saying that they are showing autocleavage, which is causing some sort of disbalance in the structure, because their structure is not does not remain as real as it should be because of the autocleavage. So they it's okay that they are doing the function of sending messages, but they should be destroyed after they have completely sent the message. So as we should I can say that as a linear chain of RNA in primary structure is least stable, thus mRNA can be easily digested by itself through the process of autocleavage, because usko message bhejna hai, so it is very important, but because it is not stable, so it should be destroyed, and this destruction can be done when this autocleavage is happening, because that structure will not remain as it was in real. Secondly, as we have seen that during the formation of DNA, the RNA molecule also act as a catalyst, and it helps in the removal of introns from hnRNA. Finally, the nRNA which is RNA which is formed, it is heterogeneous RNA, because it has having both wanted and unwanted segments, and these are known as exon, introns, exon, introns, exons, and these introns need to be removed because they are unwanted, and these unwanted introns cannot be removed if autocleavage will not be there. So autocleavage is significant in this case, as it is helping in the removal of these unwanted segments, that is introns. इसको हम RNA splicing भी बोलते हैं, and the example of the RNA splicing is, there are many examples, but the main which we know, which is very common, that is ribozyme. Ribozymes are they were reported by Thomas in Tetrahymena, and they are again the type of enzymes which are helping in splicing. And similarly, group 1 introns, these are the example of auto splicing. And then there are group 1 introns, these are also self splicing ribozymes. So this way everything which is in all our, when we are studying science, every process is every thing which is happening, that is there because of some or other reason, good reasons. But if they are not required, so God has made them like that, that they have to destroy also. So like in case of RNA, we can say that autocleavage does not make them a stable genetic material, but that was necessary to send the message and for the RNA splicing, because if RNA splicing will not happen, then all the whole heterogeneous RNA will go to will go to the process of translation, that is for making protein, which would be very very harmful. So they need to be destroyed. And how can they be destroyed? With the help of autocleavage.